Welcome, friends, to our Know Before You Go for Campus Home Live 2026, where we are headed to lovely and warm Orlando, Florida. My name is Spencer Kesey, he, series pronouns. I'm an educational program manager with ACUI, and I'm thrilled to be your host for our session. I have many esteemed guests that you will meet throughout our Know Before You Go. We're looking to have this be a session that most likely will go 20 to 30 minutes. There will certainly be opportunities for you to interact with our knowledge experts in respective areas as we go through our Know Before You Go. Additionally, I'd invite you to leave any questions in the chat. We do have the chat function open. This is Zoom and Hollywood Squares model, as I like to say, it's a Zoom meeting. So you can feel free to be on camera or off camera. We'll be on camera connecting with you all. And if you've got some specific questions that you don't feel great about bringing up in the meeting itself, you can email education@akuo-i.org. Additionally, we're recording this session. We'll put it on our YouTube and share it with uh, all of our friends who will be attending the conference in Orlando. So if you're watching this recording, feel free to email that address to let us know what your questions are. All right, quick agenda for today. We're going to share some numbers about the conference with you, share a little bit more about the World Center, the mobile app. You'll hear from our volunteer leaders who are helping put on this great event, as well as a number of conference highlights and how to get connected to the conference. Briefly, I'll just share that we've got quite a few folks. We've got 872 delegates as of this morning who are attending our conference in Orlando. You'll see that our exhibit hall is full of great information and solutions. We've got 250 folks already who are going to be presenting different educational sessions. We've got 16 major receptions. We've got 24 sponsors. Couldn't do without our sponsors. Thank you. And we have 3 big stage sessions that you'll hear more about from Amanda shortly. Let's take a look at the center itself and where you're headed as you come to Orlando, Florida. All right, so you are going to be traveling to the Orlando World Center Marriott. And in that space, when you arrive, you'll find that we have a huge wing of the World Center all to ourselves. So I'm just going to hover over the map for a few areas you'd be looking for. As you walk into our space from the convention center, you'll see our local arrangements committee table. These are folks, this committee is comprised of folks with great knowledge of the Orlando and Florida area that they'll be able to help you with getting around the conference, answering questions about your stay, answering questions about Florida in general, Orlando in general. So these are going to be some great folks to help answer some of those local questions. As you go down the corridor, you'll see our registration space and the bookstore. That's really helpful for you all to get an easy check-in, get your name badge, be ready to go for the conference. You'll also be finding an engagement space right here. We're going to hear more about that momentarily. Our foundation booth space, our general sessions, this is our ballroom where we'll be hearing from our featured speakers. Our exhibit halls, where our solution stations and our corporate partners that are there to help us on our campuses, and many of our sponsors for the conference. And this huge area here, the Magnolia 1 through 24 rooms, these are where you're going to find your educational programs. So as you can see, while we're in a big space, we're all going to be around each other. You're going to be seeing all of your colleagues that are at the conference, etc. Should be a great time for you. Fun fact to share about our location this year. You've probably stayed at one of these hotels in the past, and you probably called it a Marriott. Seems likely, but truly it's actually Marriott. So there's your fun fact. If you want to sound real smart and connect well with the staff at the hotel, it's Marriott. Who knew? Uh, as you're thinking about your trip to Orlando, it's going to be warm. So look to have temperatures in the 90 degrees of Fahrenheit. But at the same time, we know that the air conditioning will be cranking in our convention space. So you may want to have a light layer to keep you warm inside and be able to enjoy the warmth about the outdoors. Plan accordingly. We often get questions about dress code for the conference. We don't necessarily have a specific dress code. We might suggest snap it casual, business casual, but really we want you to be comfortable. So find ways that you can feel comfortable in this setting. Now I'm going to throw it over to our Campus Home Live program chair, Amanda Miller.
Thanks, Spencer. Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Miller. I use she, her pronouns. I work at Northwestern University, and this year I have the privilege of serving as the Campus Home Live 2026 Program Committee Chair. So, very excited to see everyone in Orlando, and hope that you're excited for our speakers and our programs. Some things that you can expect in that area when you get to the conference is obviously our big stage speakers. Spencer mentioned we have two general sessions, and so Liz Murray is our kickoff opening keynote. Liz is the author of Breaking Night, a memoir of forgiveness, survival, and my journey from homelessness to Harvard. And so she will be kicking off the conference with us, sharing a message about her work and how we can take that to the campuses that we all work on. Additionally, in our second general session, this has been a tradition for the past couple of years. We've brought in a campus president and had a moderated session where we're talking about different things that are facing professionals in higher education today. And so James Troha will be joining us for that general session on, I believe, day 2. Then we get to our closing session, which is our sprint session. The program committee gets really excited about this session in particular because we get a chance to work with these folks throughout the course of the year prior to the conference. And so we have 6 individuals who are practitioners in housing and residence life across the country currently, who will be participating in our sprint sessions, which are about 6-minute Pechakucha style presentations where they're sharing something about their lives, part of their story, and how it relates to the work that they're doing on their campuses on a daily basis. This is a really exciting way to kind of close out the conference and get to know a little bit more about our colleagues who have been participating with us. Finally, one of my favorite parts, obviously as the program committee chair, is the educational portion. So as you think about your trip to Orlando, we hope that you're also considering our pre-conference sessions that are taking place on Saturday. We have 14 sessions. They range from 3-hour sessions that have been designed by peers and colleagues around the country to a few sessions that are moderated sessions around where you are in your journey as a professional, whether that's an SHO, a mid-level professional, an entry-level professional. And so we hope if you haven't already, you'll take a look at our pre-conference schedule and see if anything suits your needs and things that you would like to learn about. Thank you, Spencer, for dropping the link. So keep that in mind. We do have an all-day session around HBCU Roundtable and then a tour of the Flamingo Crossings Village, which will be taking place in the morning on Saturday. When we get to our educational sessions, they will begin very shortly after the beginning of the conference. We do have 12 educational sessions across the balance of the conference with over 160 programs that will be provided. All of these programs were designed with the Akuho competencies in mind. And so as you're learning about the app and going through your schedule, you can take a look at which competency they might be focused on. You could pick your conference journey on one competency to go through the entire thing or mix and match. There's also some guidance in there about maybe where you are in your career and maybe which programs are going to feel more accurate depending on where you are. We oftentimes encourage our participants to think about where are you currently and then where are you stretching to be in the next couple of years and thinking about your educational session journey in that light. Finally, we have a few connection opportunities that we really would love to see people at. The first one is on Sunday, our new attendee welcome at 4:10. This leads straight into the first opening session. And so whether this is your first Aku Hawaii or it's your first Aku Hawaii in a while, we encourage you to think about the new attendee welcome as a way to connect with other folks who might be coming for the first time or just reacclimating to the conference in general. And then finally, on Monday, session 6, we have career connections. This is another point where we have some moderated roundtable sessions where people can connect across kind of where they are in their career and a few that are based on functional area. So as you consider, we have some different links that I think Spencer is going to help me drop in the chat. That includes our full conference schedule, so you can kind of look at what's happening across the board, which I think is already in the chat, then our ed session schedule, and then our pre-conference schedule for you to consider. And last but not least, we hope that as you're thinking about your ed sessions, you will also consider potentially moderating a session. And so we have a QR code here. All of our sessions for the conference are listed in this sign up, but moderating a session means that you're there to introduce the speakers, you're taking attendance, and letting the speakers know when there's about 5 minutes left in the session. It's a really easy way to volunteer at the conference and start to get connected with the programming in a different way. So if you're attending a session, we hope you'll also consider moderating. Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. All right, now we're going to talk about the engagement space.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Audrey Elworth. I use she, her pronouns. I'm currently at Central Michigan University, and I'm also the chair of our membership committee. And I would love to invite and see all of you at our engagement center at Campus Home Live this year. And you might be wondering, what is an engagement center? It is your hub to get connected to ways to discover resources, find community, think about your professional journey and have a little bit of fun while doing so. This is a great spot to come in and connect with fellow attendees, other volunteers, folks that have knowledge of the different ways you can build your roadmap and your journey forward with a Hawaii. We want to hear your stories and insights. There's going to be opportunities to engage with us for testimonials and ways that you may have a little bit of fun while doing so. So let's see some of the things that we're going to be doing this year on our next slide. We are very excited this year. You will see pictured here, featured is our door that we are going to have, our Campus Home Live Residence Hall door. And we would love if you wanted to showcase your campus by bringing a door decoration to share. We're excited about this year to have a way to have some classic student housing residence life engagement in a fun and creative way. And if you're not a crafty person, don't worry, we have an opportunity to spin the prize wheel. We can have our Wheel of Fortune moment where you can, think about what it's going to land on. We're going to also be your destination for where to get ribbons for your conference badge. And so those range from things like if you are an alumni of the Stars College program or maybe a presenter, you would want to stop by and grab a ribbon and see what you can collect on your name badge. We are also excited to do a lot of engagement throughout the conference, and so check by daily because we will have different prompts for you to engage in some fun conversations about your experience in the profession, maybe be featured on social media, and have a little bit of fun thinking about how our colleagues all think about our profession. So we're really excited. We hope to see you. We have a lot of fun, but we're a great spot to get a lot of good information about your engagement across your journey, whether you're just starting out or this is, your 10th year in the profession. We are here for you to help you find a home and be a little silly and fun with it as well.
Thanks, Audrey. And certainly we hope everyone swings by the engagement space. It's right in the middle of everything. Great people to meet there, great fun to be had. Speaking of fun, of course, we've got great educational content that was shared with us earlier. Just want to point out a few of the items on our schedule that are some additional fun for you. Don't want to miss out on. We've got our opening reception on Sunday following our opening session. We do have our fun run walk and roll on Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Can't wait for some folks to show up and get a little movement. We'll actually be taking a path that goes around the golf course that is attached to the World Center. So right out the front door, and should be some beautiful scenery and some delightful 70s temperatures at that time of day. Uh, Monday at the end of the day, we'll have our regional receptions. Following that, we have our Monday night social night at Disney Springs, fully optional opportunity, but as a part of being at the Marriott World Center, we have the ability to sign up and use the shuttle service that takes at the top of every hour. There's a shuttle that goes to Disney Springs from the World Center, and then it comes back at the half-hour mark. So essentially, we'll be taking shuttles to Disney Springs. We have a variety of dinner group signups that will be shared with participants. If you'd like to sign up and be a part of a large dinner group and connect with other folks that are attending the conference, that's a great way to connect with new people and friends alike. Of course, you can use the shuttle service to go to Disney Springs on your own or other Disney property locations. We'll be sharing a lot more information about that as we get close to the conference. But we do hope folks will utilize our dinner group signups and consider breaking bread, having a meal with some other colleagues or new friends at the conference. Tuesday morning, we've got our Awaken and Restore yoga. That's just in that space that as you enter our conference space. And Tuesday at the end of the day, we've got our affinity group receptions. Of course, there's much, much more fun to be had. These are just a few highlights we wanted to share with y'all. Um, and also did want to go back. We did have air on the slide. Our pre-conferences are indeed on Sunday. So the pre-conferences are not on Saturday. Sorry for that typo. And thanks for the questions in the chat. I appreciate that. Great. Speaking of where you can find the full schedule and no typos, uh, the QI Events app. So if you have an Apple device, Google device, feel free to scan that QR code if you don't already have the Events app. You can also search QI Events in your App Store, and it should pop right up. That's a great place to see everything happening on the campus or at Campus Home Live. Additionally, there's a search function. So as you look through programs, you can select the types of programs, keywords, knowledge domains, etc. Now, Ashley, I know you're dying to talk about the mobile app, so we'll just go through a couple of slides if you work with me and share a little bit more about what people can expect when they use the mobile app.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley Wells Eubank. I'm the Business Operations Manager at Akuai, and we're going to go over a little bit of the app here. So when you download the app, you're going to get brought to a welcome screen. This is where you're going to type in Akuai, and after you do that and press search, that's where you're going to see the Campus Home Live app, and that will give you access to it. For some folks, when you click on it, it might give you some prompts like it's just loading, updating the app. You just click next and it'll get you to the page. And also, if you've had the app since last year, yay for you, but also make sure that you are updating that because throughout the year, there's a couple of updates on that. When you're logging into the app, we strongly encourage delegates to log in with the email that they used with their registration for Campus Home Live. You are able to get in without it, but please keep in mind if you do not log in, you won't be able to participate in the exhibit hall game, which we'll be talking about in a few slides, or you won't be able to scan business cards as you network with the different exhibitors or other delegates. So please make sure to use that email. And if you can't remember what email you use, you can reach out to us and we'd be happy to look it up for you. Okay, so I'm briefly just going to go over some of the different tabs here. If you have it already, if you already have the app uploaded and you got it, you can more than welcome to walk through it with me. But on the dashboard here, this is where it's going to highlight the most selected events just throughout. So you could get a little glimpse of what everyone else is looking at and what's popular. And you'll also be able to look at the schedule. And when you're adding things to your schedule, this is where it's going to pop up. So you can build out your whole experience. And when you go to that dashboard, you'll be able to see that. The schedule, this is where going to be all the information's at. When you look it up, they'll have the location, the time, speaker description. So as you're trying to plan out your day, feel free to look through all of them and see what one fits what you're looking for. Notifications. So we will definitely be pushing notifications out throughout the conference. This is where you're going to find if there's any, change of rooms or any shout outs or updated information. We'll make sure to send it. Just make sure that you have your notifications on so that way you can see it. It'll also pop up at the bottom corner. Probably in that screenshot, it's a little tiny, but you can see there'll be like a little red circle above just notifying that there is a new notification to take a look. So make sure throughout the day you're just checking that out just to keep up with everything. And we'll also be sure to mention like when lunch is coming or when we have one of the main stage speakers, just as a quick reminder. So we got those all planned out. And then the more section. This is going to be where all the rest of the information is to update your profile pictures. You can use the tab to look at different speakers, the presenters, maps, sponsors. This is where you're going to be able to use the scan QR code. That's the to scan different business cards on here, and that will save. And this will also be a huge factor when we're doing the exhibit hall game. You're going to use that little scan QR code to scan people's badges, and that's how you'll get points. And then the leadership board. So if you're competitive and you want to see if there's somebody that you're racing against, will be the spot for that. Definitely a popular time when the exhibit hall game is going on. So yes.
Thanks so much, Ashley. And certainly the mobile app is your key to staying connected to the conference and getting the sessions. And uh, you can also use the messaging function there to get a hold of us. So if there's anything you see, if you are a program presenter, shameless plug, if you're a program presenter and you'd like some additional information about your program updated, whether it be a headshot, bio, etc., you can email us at the education account and we will get that even more updated. Now we're going to move it over to learn more about the exhibit hall, their exhibits committee.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brian Emmerich. I'm an Assistant Dean for Residential Life and Dining Services at Ohio Wesleyan, and I'm joined by Mike Perry. I'll let him introduce himself really quick.
Hey, everyone, Mike Perry, serve as the Director for Housing and Residence Life at IU Indianapolis.
So we're going to talk about the exhibit hall really quick. Spencer mentioned earlier that we have 187 exhibit booths. The exhibit hall promises to be a really active environment this conference, which is going to be really great. If you are looking for an opportunity to get involved with ACUHOI, the exhibits committee offers a really easy way to do that. I'll drop my email in the chat if you're interested in getting involved in some way this conference or perhaps in the future. It's good to share that information with me so we can continue to communicate with you as we move forward closer to the conference and thinking about next year. Really quickly for our new attendees or our new professionals, with the exhibit hall, you may feel a little overwhelmed, and you may not exactly know what your role is in that space if you don't have purchasing power. And so I think it's just really important for you to understand that while everyone in that room is selling something, either a product or a service, they play a critical role in our profession and they help solve problems that we can't solve ourselves. And so your job right now is really to get to know them and understand their products and services. And eventually you'll build relationships with them. There are people in that room that I've known for 20 years. And the exhibit hall feels a little bit more like a reunion than it does anything else. And sometimes I buy things from them, but sometimes I just develop relationships with them. And that's what they want as well. So your job right now as a new professional or a new attendee is just to start getting to know people and their products and their services and just kind of see where that might lead. And I know Mike wants to talk about the game, so I'm going to let him start talking about that.
Yeah, so been mentioned a couple times throughout the session so far, but there is a game that occurs throughout the exhibit hall. So really it's meant to kind of increase interactions between the delegates, the attendees, and the vendors, exhibitors. And so essentially, if you visit exhibit booths, you can have your badge scanned, or you can also scan the badge of the vendor. That will combine for some points that'll be tracked. There's a live leaderboard in the app where you can see who's in the lead in the game and stuff. And then at the last exhibit session, the exhibit hall session, the winner will be announced, and then essentially the winners are able to come pick their prize up from directly from the vendor who provided that prize. So look forward to that. It should be fun. It gets a little bit heated in the best way possible, that people get pretty competitive, which can be fun. So looking forward to that.
All right. Thank you for sharing about a little bit more about the exhibit hall. And if you don't know, remember that our lunches will be served in the exhibit hall as well. So you'll be around that space quite a bit during the conference. Thank you, Brian and Mike. Something new, actually brought to by one of our vendors, Paige Stanek, is our Zen Den, which will be just outside the exhibit hall. This will be a great place for you to relax, center yourself, relieve some stress, etc. So take a look at this new engaging space just outside the exhibit hall. A few images that you can look forward to seeing when you're joining us in Orlando. And finally, we'd love to share with you more about our foundation booth. Sasha, pass it over to you.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Sasha Matsumi, and I serve as the vice chair for annual programs for the Akuai Foundation. And I want to share a little bit, as Spencer mentioned, our centrally located foundation booth. We hope that this is a space that seems welcoming and inviting for new attendees. It's also a great space to interact with some more seasoned professionals who can share a little bit about the history of Akuai, a little bit about the 75 years of the Akuai Foundation. And so for those of you who are like, like, what's the Akuai Foundation? It's really a group that is fundraising to support research and scholarship. The Akuai Foundation sponsors multiple individuals to attend conferences. They sponsor research that helps the profession. Really, we feel like we're sort of what powers the profession and invests in the future. And so our future is often new professionals and first-time attendees. And so we want this to be a space where you engage with us at the booth and learn just a little bit more about what it means to be a part of the greater Akuoi and what your future might look like at Akuoi. And so as you saw from the last photo, there's some soft seating that is welcome and open to everyone to sit and enjoy that space as you wait for some of those large ballroom spaces to open up. There's also a foundation booth, and at that foundation booth, we engage with a raffle opportunity, which is always really fun for some big monetary prizes. We have a silent auction that goes on there. Lots of great items are donated to the silent auction. You can also bring an item to donate to the silent auction. And it's a great way to fundraise, again, to fuel the Akuai Foundation, to fuel Akuoi. And then new this year, we're doing a fun little game. It's a grab bag, a mystery bag game, where we, again, have had donations from a lot of our exhibitors, a lot of our corporate partners, individuals who have donated gift cards and other fun prizes. And there's an opportunity for people to donate and get one of those grab bags and just see what's inside our mystery bag. And so a lot of fun, excitement going on in that area. Yes, it's about fundraising, but really, I hope that you find it as a space that you can just engage and walk up to at every point at the conference. I guarantee there will be multiple seasoned professionals around that area that would love to chat with you a little bit about why they got involved in Akuoi, why they got involved in the foundation, why they want to give back to Akuoi by being part of the foundation. And so hopefully you find that to be a space that is really engaging, warm, and welcoming. We also are very tied in with the exhibitor hall and with the membership committee in the engagement area. So we try to make that sort of a mutually open and inviting area for new attendees. It really is a place marketed and intended for new attendees to have some of their first engagements with Akuoi and the Akuoi Foundation. So I hope to see you there. $5 for a raffle ticket, or maybe bid on an item, or just chat it up and tell me all about your first experience at Campus Home Live.
Thank you, Sasha. And of course, thank you to our Akuai Foundation for powering the profession. That concludes our formal Know Before I Go program for today. So for our live attendees, thanks so much for hopping on live. Big thanks to all of our speakers that joined us today: Amanda, Mike, Ashley, Sasha, Audrey, Brian. Thanks so much for hopping on. It's great to see you on camera and hear from y'all. Also, thanks for folks who've been engaging in the chat and bringing up questions. If there's any further questions we can answer for you about the conference, uh, please feel free to put those in the chat. We'll get those answered. And if you've had all your questions answered, and I invite you to enjoy the rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks in Orlando.